Hey guys, Jason here with a Duel Masters Plays deck profile. This is my very first Duel Masters Plays deck. So when Andrew told me about the tournament, we decided to play through it together, and Andrew was focusing on all of these janky multi-sip decks, and I was like, Andrew, I don't know what any of these cards do, and we're not able to play anything on curve. And he said, okay, well, Dream Mates are pretty simple, and they seem pretty good. Now, the Dream Mate list that you're looking at might look a little bit different to some of the ones you're used to, because I thought they were a little, it seemed like they were trying to do too much. And when Andrew told me what the effect of the Pixar Scarab was, or I guess if you want to call him by his real name, General Kuwagatan, General Pixar Scarab.
Yeah, you don't want to call him by his real name.
I just want to call him by his real name. Pixar Scarab is just insane. Like, he basically replaces himself when he dies to spot removal. Well, when he dies, so like Terrapin and stuff like that. So I thought, why not just build the deck around him? Because he's crazy. And of course, Hello Panda. Or as if you're gonna go by his real name, Kenji Panda. Because I think this guy's crazy. Like, when he attacks, you search your deck for a Dream Mate, and then you summon it. And you know, he's actually a way to cheat out Pixar Scarab.
Yeah.
So we built the deck with we built the deck around these two cards. So for the early part of the mana curve, we've got 4 copies of Fantastic Mr. Fox, or Yatarwan Adventuring Fox. This is basically Poisonous Mushroom, but also a Dream Mate. So he's one of the necessary evils of the deck, as I like to put it. If you open with him, then he's amazing. If you find him later in the game, generally not so much.
And he's still amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he could serve as cheap evil bait or something like that. That's something that you'll find about a little later. Now, we also play 4 copies of Fairy Life, one of my favorite cards. One of my remedies to Andrew's Duel Masters Plays decks is to just add in 4 copies, sometimes 8 copies of Fairy Life. It's just good because it gives us more mana, so we can play the things we like faster. Now, moving on, the reason we play 4 copies of Fox and 4 copies of Fairy Life is actually for the search guy. His name is Banjo the Super Energetic, so not the card here.
Oh, Banjo. Right.
Yes. For this guy, and this guy is basically Rumbling Terrahorn. I just call every creature that searches other creatures Rumbling Terrahorn.
I mean, he's 3K as well.
Yeah, but he searches your deck for another Dream Mate, so he's very strong to curve into on turn 3, and then hopefully, you know, we can grab a Pixar Scarab, or more ideally, Hello Panda.
Yeah, because as you can see, the DMP team probably had that in mind, so you play him on 4 and then play Panda on 5.
Yeah. Now, moving on, we've got 4 copies of the card that we just showed you. Full cost Spirit Knight Phantom Beast.
Oh man, that's
now this guy is basically, yes, it is a bit of a mouthful, so we just call him Gold Arm. You know, it's kind of like short for Gold Armor, since he's wearing gold armor, and he does the same thing.
I didn't think of that.
Arm Tribe.
That's so good.
So he ramps the mana. He's pretty good. If you hit him on 3, you can curve into Panda on 5. Or some combination of the mana ramp lets you play Pixar Scarab a little bit earlier.
This is the guy that she tells you not to worry about. Evan brought some. Okay.
So moving on, we've already talked about Panda. Have we talked about Panda and Pixar Scarab? We have it.
Not really. Yeah, you briefly touched upon it before.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get into Panda. Yeah, we play 4 copies of this guy. He is really what gets the deck rolling. I believe he can redirect attacks to your other Dream Mates, so your opponent can't kill him. But really, what makes him super amazing is that when he attacks, he gets another creature from your deck. And, you know, if that's something big like Pixar Scarab, it's crazy. Or, you know, even if it's something a little bit smaller, like Rumbling Terrahorn or T-Dog, there are ways to generate card advantage. And so, yeah, that's pretty good. We actually used to play the Tiny Teddy-looking Dream Mate, the 3-mana one that snares a creature with 2k power or less, but we realized that was only really good against Coco Lupia, and it was also a very bad target for Panda to hit. So really, most of the Dream Mates in our deck are, like, good. If you think about it, if you're looking to not hit Fox or Gold Arm, and you're looking to hit everything else, you have more than a 50% chance of hitting whatever it is you want.
Well, even Gold Arm is okay. because he still gets your mana.
Okay. Okay, we've talked about Pixar Scarab. The last one is T-Dog or You Wandafor. So T-Dog is, well, T-Dad. So when he's discarded from your hand, you get to cheat him out. And also you look at the top 3 cards of your deck when he hits the field, and then you grab all the dream mates there. So very useful for building card advantage. 3 is enough just because we don't run into discard that much. And also, unlike the TCG, a lot of the discard cards allow us to choose what we discard. So we can just grab
really
one.
You just need one in your hand and you'll discard poof.
Yeah. Now, looking at the other parts of the deck, we actually ran Apocalypse Day in the past, but actually, no, before we get into that, I'm going to look into the light guy. I'm going to have to check my notes here. We just call him light guy, but it is Agapitos Alignment Elemental. So when you summon this guy, you can cheat out a gold arm from your deck, tap one of your opponent's creatures. Good for getting board control, good for getting creatures out, and you never know when a blocker can save your life.
Yeah, and also he's just a good curve off all your mana acceleration.
Oh yes, of course. Mana acceleration, that's what we like.
Just in case if you don't hit your Pixar Scarabs.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, Pixar's, like, it's not a bad consolation prize to get just 2 creatures out instead of your one Pixar Scarab.
Yeah, and usually you would have another creature out, and then you can often just tap one of your opponent's creatures and kill.
Yeah, there you go. Now, the other cards we'll talk about. So, for Julio, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You run them in every deck with light, pretty much. It's a real lifesaver, I think. You guys know that already.
Yeah, literal lifesaver.
And the last couple of cards we're going to talk about are, well, we've got 3 copies of the Shield Guy, or Riku the Oracle, I should say. So I think this guy's effect is when you have 2 shields or less and he hits the field, you get a shield back.
Yep.
So it's pretty useful against SAD, as Andrew pointed out. Because in the original version of the deck, we found it was pretty weak to SAD, and so we just splashed this guy in. In a similar vein, we splashed in 2 copies of Earth V2, or Your Cleansing Elemental. And I think this guy is, Andrew, what was it? When you have 7 mana or more and he hits the field, you tap something.
So he's call on the Oracle when you have 7 or mana. Except he's also a blocker. So
he combines 2 amazing cards in a Hunter Cluster and call on the Oracle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. So he's also some anti-SAD technology.
Because what SAD does is usually they have one other attacker along with SAD. So what you do is you, if you have this guy in your shield, you tap the other creature and then you block SAD. And you're good to go.
And so I really love this deck. I love this deck so much. It's easy to play. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of memes. It's got a lot of cards I recognize.
That you recognize now.
and it's really consistent. And
that's actually one thing that we haven't really touched upon. Is it's just so consistent. When you run like 8 Fairy Life, I say Fairy Life, even Fantastic Mr. Fox, he should deserve his own recognition. But you play like 8 Fairy Life, and then also you got Gold Arm, and then Banjo is also really cheap. So yeah, the deck just practically runs itself.
Yeah. And I love this deck so much. What more could you want? You got memes, got consistency, built with love. It's got everything.
And most importantly, built with a low multi-sim count.